Operation status quo. Operation status quo. Prepare to engage. Operation status quo. Ready to engage. Operation status quo. Engaged. Engaged. Howdy doody 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 doo to you, the beautiful people of the world. I'd like to buy the world a Coke. Actually, I wouldn't, because Coca-Cola, ladies and gentlemen, is actually not too good for you. I would prefer not to buy you a Coke, but I'll buy you something. What would you like? Put it in the comments below, your maybe healthier beverage of choice, and I'll be happy to, unless it's alcohol. We can do that, too. I mean, I figure if you're going to put some poison in your body, you might as well get something out of it. So you're better off with some booze than you are Coca-Cola. Anyway, hey, how we doing out there? Welcome to Operation Status Quo here, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a quick minute. Some people say it's been a quick minute since I've been on. I guess it's like 10 days, right? So I thought about it a couple times. I always say this. I really apologize for those of you that are interested in any capacity of watching this and on any kind of regular level. But there are a lot of shows there that you can always go back and check out. But I know how it is with YouTube. You don't want to go back and watch a video from 3 months ago. You want to see what's happening today. What's happening today? Hold on, let's get some applause going. Let me go over here and get a little something happening. Excuse me. Look at the little dog barking. We got to get ourselves into it here, ladies and gentlemen, for sure.
Hey-o.
All right, good. Okay. First and foremost, I am Pete Palma. I am your user-friendly host. This is Operation Status Quo, the place where we observe the status quo of life, where we learn to flow with the status quo of life. And then, of course, we create our own flow of quo, because that's the only way to go. That's my main message here. It's a very simple one. I was just having this conversation with someone today, actually, when I was doing my little dipsy doodle at the pool. The guy who works in the office over there, he goes, I need to get on your schedule. And I'm like, well, I mean, I said I work from home, so I have the opportunity. It's not like I'm just like, floating around all the time. But you know what's funny? I'm going to get into this too, because it kind of goes into what I'm talking about. But just that's a second experience actually in the last couple of days of people saying something that kind of insinuates that I just get a kick out of people that are always looking at what other people are doing. I guess that's why I'm doing Judge the Judges today is the title of the show. It's like people are always looking at what you're doing and, comparing what they're doing. And it's like, listen, man, everybody's got their own life and their own way and everything else. So it's not like, just if you want to go for a swim at the pool, build your life so you can go for a swim at the pool. You know what I mean? I really try to encourage people. That's what I talk about here. It's not about doing nothing and just being aloof and lazy or like live a party life, or it's nothing like that. It's truthfully deciding what is right for you and how do you like to live, right? And what's important to you, valuing your personal time, your self-care, all these type of things, and how that relates to whatever it is you do for a living and such, and your family life and everything that goes along with it. You have to be true to you first before you can move forward and be of any kind of valuable service to others. And, everybody wants people to feel guilty for, not being as miserable as they are. It's like, I don't know what to say. Just make the choices you want to make and you can create the life you want to create. It's really kind of as simple as that. Okay, but before I get into, I'm going to say this kind of again, I guess, but before I get into that quickly, I do want to make an announcement here that we're getting very close. I've been talking about this recently, and one of the reasons why I really haven't been doing the show as often is there's a new project in the works. I've been spending a lot of my time working on that. I'm still not giving it away exactly. I would love for you guys, seriously, if anybody really watches this and is interested and curious of what I'm doing, it's this new project, put it in the comments, put something in the comments, I'm excited, or what is the project, or maybe take a guess on what the project is, let me know that you're interested in what I might have to offer. Either way, I'm doing it, so it really doesn't matter. But anyway, so that's coming. The official launch date of this new project is going to be August 12th, ironically enough, because of my birthday. So August 12th going to be the official date. I'm sure that the cat will be out of the bag before that, though. I'm going to start promoting things relatively soon. I guess sometime within the next couple weeks, probably in July. I still got just a couple little tweaks. I have to make sure everything's in the right space before I start really kind of talking about it. But I'm excited to share this new venture with you guys. Anybody who's out there who's followed the show and appreciates the show, it's different than the show. But it's still me, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. And I look forward to sharing it with you coming very soon. So stick with me for that. Okay, so today is the 17th of June in the good year 2024, and today's program is entitled, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, if you see the thumbnail and you see the title and everything else, Judge the Judges. Judge the Judges, oh no. Judge the judges, oh no. Remember that Nirvana song? Serve the servants. Hey-o. Oh no. I said judge the judges instead of serve the servants. So judge the judges, and the initial thought process I had to this was because I had seen something on Facebook like a week ago, I think it was, and then it triggered me a little bit, and I realized like I was being judgmental, right? And this is what I talk about all the time, of us being aware of ourselves and being mindful, and responsible with our thoughts and our actions and our feelings and everything else. So, I realized that I had this like kind of snap. I wanted to say something, little judgment thing, and I realized, that's where the title came from, Judge the Judges, because the ultimate, if you're going to judge, you got to judge the judge. And if you're judging, you're the judge. So you got to judge yourself, because everything that we see in our life that triggers us or whatnot, is basically a reflection back of something that's internal with ourselves. So, if we see something that, and it doesn't even have to be that deep, like it's something like, if you see a certain situation and it bothers you, it means that you're totally guilty of being that situation or something. It could just be that, that's a particular situation that elicits a response from you to offer you the opportunity to be responsible, to not dive down into the depths of, pointing fingers and going tit for tat. It's one of the things I learned. It really doesn't matter. When you have a disagreement, I mean, it's always great. Listen, I'm all about standing up for yourself, and when you have to speak up, you speak up and you do what you got to do. But in the grand scheme of things, I just mean like a little thing. Just say somebody's like, speeding down the street in your neighborhood, right? Like it's a residential area and they're kind of going fast, and you decide you're going to wave down that car and tell them they're going too fast, and this is a neighborhood and kids here, and people walk their dogs and all that kind of stuff. I mean, not to say maybe that person would say sorry, maybe that person would think about it and say, oh, I'm not too. But, the truth is, like, you're almost putting yourself in a situation where that person's going to, I mean, obviously, if they don't have, like, the thought process to be respectful in a neighborhood, right? Like, where kids and stuff are, and dogs and everything else, obviously they're not aware, and they're going to take that as an attack, right? Because if somebody says something, generally they feel like they're being attacked and have to defend themselves, which is going to lead them to saying something, which is going to lead something else. And if they don't say something, they remember you're that jerk that said something to target. I don't know. I'm not saying not to say things when things have to be said. I'm using a very simplistic example here, but I'm just trying to say that, like, I have found that, when the more that we put out to try to prove our point or something, really doesn't help the situation. Unless somebody's open to some sort of conversation and to see things in a different way, and they want to have a back and forth and a dialogue. Otherwise, it's not going to work. And I've really have to say, one of the things I've gotten good at over the years is just that. Like, I realize right away now where people are in certain situations, and I just makes me say, I'm not going to feed into that energy, because if I take the step down, like, you got to look at yourself first. Judge the judges. If you're looking at somebody else and you want to point the finger at what they're doing and boo boo boo, and this is why they're bad, and this is why this isn't right, and blah 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 blah, you really got to look at yourself, because ultimately everyone's here on their own journey, and everything is done in the perfection as it's meant to be done, and everything is a learning lesson. You are the focal point. This is like the concept that I think people really miss. And like, to try not to go off on, I know I kind of go off on these tangents, but the concept that, that people miss is like, they really think the outside world is like something happening and, like to them type thing. And I've talked about this before, when you have to realize that we are all, every each of us as individuals are the center point of, because there is only one time, only one reality. There is no time and space in the way we perceive it, right? It's all, everything is just like instantaneous. So, and we're all one energy, which means that we're all just reflections of each other. So, you're watching me, on this, but you are, we're exactly the same. We're equal, but it's just your viewpoint. You're seeing it through the lenses of, your physical incarnation. I'm seeing the world through the lenses, of my physical incarnation. And the ultimate truth of it is that, we're beyond the physical incarnation. We are spirit beyond. So, being encapsulated in this body is merely just so we can be an observation point, so that we can observe, the contrast of things, so that we can, learn and grow. So, we have to remember that when we start, pointing fingers and judging and all that stuff, we're really just, we have to take, it's a time to take a step, and look at yourself. And I mean, I'm not saying it to put yourself in situations with people that are no good. If you see that, things aren't working out, you realize that. It doesn't mean you have to change it. Doesn't mean you have to prove it. All it is it. And that's the most important part, right? That's the liberation. So now you make your decisions. That's why I say here, you observe status quo, you learn to flow with the quo, because you got to deal with everyday life and the interactions thereof. And then you create your own flow of quo, so you can find your way to mitigate your way through the circumstances of what you are observing, without taking it all personally and believing that it's so heavy and real. So, I talked earlier in the beginning here of, the one instance, at the pool with the guy saying, I wish I had your schedule and all. And then, I had another instance over the weekend with someone that I'm, friends with, and, started to make a couple comments about, the way my job is and stuff. And, and guys, I've talked about the job that I've had for years, and I've made no qualms about that. I dislike it horribly. I think it's a worthless, stupid job, but it pays the bills right now. And I'm doing everything I can to get out of it. So I'm hoping, please enjoy the new project that's coming out. Come on, help me out, guys. Help me out. Seriously. But, and it really kind of struck me because, I'm fairly good friends with this individual, and I was, kind of really surprised, of the level of backlash. And it really, it made me mad. It just made, I don't want to say it made me mad in a sense that, just feeling misunderstood, and I'm trying to express, and I've had conversations with this person multiple times. We're trying to, and the reason I kind of talk about the way, my day goes and how I've structured my life is because I try to encourage people to, to know that they have the power to do the same. But there's the caveat, like, if I, excuse me, I realized if I'm going to put myself out there, being so open in certain regards and expressing certain things, I'm going to have to expect that people are going to come back and try to shun it in a way, because not everybody has the fortitude, the emotional capacity, the strength of character, and everything else to step up and take responsibility for themselves and really understand who they are and, what makes them tick, So there was a couple comments that were given to me that, made it sound like I was like selfish in a sense or something, because of, how I utilize my time. And I was, I said, listen, I built my life the way, I want it to be. It's not about being selfish. I don't consider myself selfish at all, but I do put myself first, and I'm honest with myself about, how I want to use my time during the day for things that, my self-care, my other projects and whatever I do. I'm just saying, just to say, I know how I want to do my day. And if I start giving myself away to others, because I feel bad because they try to gaslight me or something, then I'm giving my power away, and then I'm not living in my own truth, right? And then I'm not being my best, which doesn't allow me to serve others. And quite honestly, I mean, even from like doing the show and all, as simplistic as it is and whatever, nobody gives a shit. I don't care. It doesn't matter. But like my point behind why I do it is because I do want to encourage people. My goal in life really is to really just help as many people as I can, is by being, a positive inspiration and stuff, and giving people encouragement to, follow their dreams and do the stuff that they want to do and live true to their hearts, So, I would tell this to anybody, like don't don't give your time away. Like don't feel like, oh, I'm a bad person because, I didn't do the X, Y, and Z. It's like I think it's worse to do it that way because you're not being true and you're giving your energy away and you're not utilizing it in its full potential. And the truth is, we all should be living within our full potential, because if we all live within our full potential, we can all help each other more and build a community that really works together instead of everybody being on their own island feeling like they got to keep what they got so they don't they can maintain their little spot while everybody else is in the water drowning around them. So I don't know. That's just how I see it. So, the simple concept today was just, judge the judges. When you're judging, when you're, seeing situations, remember you're looking back on yourself. And it was good. It was good that what happened with me over the weekend, because it did, get me a little. But I also realized that, like, listen, there's. Back in the day, before I grew up a little bit, I would have said 100 things to this person. I would have had this person crying in a corner in about like 3 minutes, you know what I mean? But I don't do that anymore. I realize and I go, why attack this person? It's obvious, where they are emotionally and mentally and everything else. If they're saying that these type of things to me, and I'm not getting into the depths and specifics of the conversation and the depths and specifics of our relationship and stuff, that how we know each other and all, but and how long and everything else. But, just the fact that the person said a couple things that this person said, I couldn't believe it. And like, right there, it was just like, boom, now I know. Now I know, and this is it. I proceed in this way from this time forward, and I won't, offer myself in certain ways that I did before, because I realized the person doesn't have the capacity. And that's not to put the person down, because we're all on a journey. And, if that person ever wanted to come to me in a different way, I'd be happy to help that person just like I would anybody else. Anybody who's hurt me in my life, I can look back, if somebody wanted to reach out and like have a real conversation, I never turn anybody away, it just like it is what it is. So anyway, that's it. That's what I got for you here today. Ladies and gentlemen, Operation Status Quo, judge the judges. Oh no. Judge the judges. So just remember that, when we get fired up, we really have to look at ourselves, because it's always everything that happens in our life, especially the stuff that triggers us, is really a great opportunity to be in the present moment and to reflect and to try to see what that situation is teaching, because for any emotion to be, to strike a person like that, it's a learning opportunity. So it's not necessarily about the parameters of each individual situation. Excuse me, more so it's about how we process it and reflect upon it and use it for our growth. Same thing like what happened with this person over the weekend. I got agitated, but I know already, head over here. I know that I can't be here and look at it as a you versus me, a tit for tat thing, or I got to prove my point. It's just you just say, okay, I see. So now I observe the status quo. I have flown with the status quo, and now I will create my own flow quo in regard to that situation. And for any situation, that's what we all should do. So anyway, that's what I got for you here today. I love you people out there. I hope you're feeling good. I hope you've been good. Please, don't be shy. Drop some comments. Let me know what you're thinking, what's going on out there. If you haven't done so already, please like, subscribe, share. Send this out to your friends, your family, those you love, and of course, those you despise as well. I love each and every one of you out there individually as well as a group. God bless you. And until next time, you know the deal. Operation Status Quo disengaged.